Good afternoon. It says I'm live. I don't see a live button. There we go. Got the live button. All right. Good afternoon. This is Randy Kervin, and this is Randy's Rant, the True Patriots group, YouTube, for the 8th day of March. March roared in here. We had about 3 inches of snow. Fortunately, though, it's getting warm enough outside that with the aid of a little ice melt, been able to get it off to a public sidewalk and currently working on our little sidewalk out to the street. All right. I stand with Ukraine. I stand with Ukraine. I stand with freedom and democracy. Here's what I don't stand for: opening up public lands for oil drilling or fracking. That, brothers and sisters, were the talking points of the GOP under the previous administration, under the orange one. Gavel in the meeting, brothers and sisters. Let's see. You know who I'm talking about, Republicans. The former twice impeached lost the majority for his party in both houses of Congress. Yep, that one. You remember him? The one that can't resist the white nationalist neo-Nazi groups because they love him. No wonder. In my opinion, Vladimir Putin would have had another 4 years to take Ukraine if the former's coup had been successful. He would have kept trying to destroy NATO and break up relationships with our traditional allies. Let's look at what's going on during the protest of George Floyd's death. In Minneapolis and across the country, Republicans talked about enacting laws against protest and dissent. They were thinking about making it lawful to run over protesters. We, the people of the United States, are the example of freedom and democracy around the world. Russia talked about humanitarian corridors. True, if you want to leave and go to Belarus or Russia, I figured that's a changing story. That's what I got out of it so far. And I don't think there will be many that will give up freedom and democracy to live basically in Putin's Russia. Russian rule. Ukrainians are resilient, proud, and love democracy, even in a tough fight. That is slowing Putin's plan. And I still think that with resistance in Ukraine, Russia will not defeat the people's will to live in freedom. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., right outside the Russian embassy, the street has been changed to President Zelensky Way. I love it. President Zelensky is back in his office, and he said, "I'm not hiding, and I'm not afraid of anyone." What a leader they have over there. A Russian colonel, I'm going to try to condense this best I can. I don't want to keep you a long time. I don't want to be here a long time. Got other things to get together before we have a Blue Dot meeting tonight. A Russian colonel that had been captured talked about that they were guilty of coming into Ukrainian territory. They should have used their heads. He talked about whatever punishment they deserved it, and said that many in Russia, all they're getting is misinformation, and that many in Russia don't know what's going on. That many in Russia don't have the internet. And that's where he was talking about they made a mistake. They were seeing snippets of what was actually happening in Ukraine. And of course, invading somebody's territory, they didn't have time to really sit down and think about it. It sounds like to me, and he also said that the Russian media is what they are listening to, and they're not getting the truth. This is not a military exercise. This is not liberation of Ukrainians. And that's what he was talking about. Sounds like to me the right wing propaganda on the right wing media, does sound a whole lot alike. And he felt that he shouldn't have fallen for the propaganda that Ukraine was fascist and Nazis. Protests in Russian cities are still going on. I heard over the weekend 5,000 were arrested. And those protests goes on despite the daily arrest. Alexei Navalny tweeted, "Everything has a price, and now in the spring of 2022, we must pay this price. There is no one to do it for us. Let's not be against the war. Let's fight against the war." So I don't know how he gets tweets out. I understand that he's in prison over there, but it was good to see him speak out for his people. Oh, and last thing I think I want to cover today is the no-fly zone that can't be used simply because we can't turn this conflict into a war between Russia and the U.S. Even with trading with Poland for the MiGs to go to Ukraine, for one thing, they have to be flown in. They can't be taken apart and then put back together in Ukraine. And will Putin consider that an act of war between Russia and Poland? He's just itching for an excuse to invade other places or threaten with nuclear. And I wanted to ask, I'm pretty sure that most of us have already seen the Republican ad, "Take Back Our Country" with Kevin McCarthy, "Fire Pelosi." Kevin wants to be Speaker of the House. He can't even control his own rancid members of the House. His is not leadership, but followership of the orange smudging and the big lie. And top that off, he's a hypocrite. His life was endangered on January 6th. He spoke out about it, but then he went down to Florida to kiss the ring. He came back to tolerate whatever lies his House members chose to do. Bullshit and lies is what they're doing. And he tolerates it. Oh, we shouldn't punish them. No, they shouldn't be punished. Left did so and so. Left did this. Left did that. bullshit. And everybody knows it, brothers and sisters. And I'm hoping a lot of my Republican friends, and I know you're coming here sometime, and I'm just reaching out. You got hit by a bad salesman. He always has been a bad salesman and a Russian money laundering organization for Putin's Russia. I mean, go back decades. That's all he built Trump Tower with Russian money by laundering that money in Trump Tower. That's how far back his corruption goes. He is no better. He was bought and paid for by Russia years ago, brothers and sisters. We all know it, and the other side needs to wake up to that fact. All he's doing is grifting off of you, Republicans, for his debts that he has coming due. All right, that's about all I've got. Oh, didn't know that. Well, happy International Women's Day to all my Blue Dot sisters. All right, looks like oh, there's Nancy. I started to say we didn't have any sisters in the room, but she's out there. All right, I appreciate every one of you being here today, and I need for you to go down, like, and share. If you're new, you like what we are talking about, a real democracy being the leading democracy in the world, how Biden is gotten all of our allies back after Donnie tried to break the whole thing up to get Russia into the G summits around the world. Didn't work, Donnie. I can't even think of anything other than a big tax cut that man got done for you. He talked about infrastructure and then was against it for the bipartisan bill that went and became law, and that was because the Biden had nothing to do with Donnie. All right, I will let you go with peace, resist, persist, and I insist. We push truth against the lies. The truth will win out in the end because the truth is coming out every day, and there's no denying it. If some of these people on the other side would learn to Google, they would find out they're being lied to by their own media. All right, have a good one. Like I said, I'm thankful to have all of you out here, and hopefully we can get this word out. I will be out there posting it as well. Uh, I'm going to take a little break, gather our thoughts. Grace and I are trying to figure out what to have for dinner. And I wanted to express some priorities that I have around here. Of course, there's always keeping the gas, the water, the electricity, and everything on. But another priority I have, in order to have a telephone in there with Magic Jack, I have to pay my fee for my 200 megabytes per second with Sparklight. I am not allowed any other provider here in Kirksville, Missouri. Because anytime you try to Google for other services, leads you right back to Sparklight. That's the only thing allowed here in Missouri is Sparklight, except for Kansas City. And I have a feeling because it's Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. So I will be putting my information out. I only put it on my timeline. I don't put it on YouTube. But I would appreciate more comments about how you like the show, what you think that I could do different, or whatever. I like to hear from you in your comments. Go down, like, share, help me help us share this shit. All right. I will see you a little bit later this evening. Bye bye for now. Have a good one. Love this Blue Dot family. Bye bye. Share this shit, please.